12 will be on a mission this week to find replacements for Texas A&M.
They may find some schools to come into the Big 12, but I don't think anybody's actually going to replace Texas A&M. From the Opopka Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson. Barry, there's not a really long list for this. Who do you think's at the top for the Big 12?
Well, I mean, I think the Big 12 is sort of like a coaching search. You shoot high and settle for low. I think they'll start at Notre Dame. I think they'll go to Arkansas. I think they'll go to Brigham Young, in pretty much in that order. I think the answer is going to be no thanks, and let's talk. So I think the Big 12 will shoot very high with the Notre Dame and offer the caveat of your own television contract with the combination of a league contract. But Notre Dame loves its independence. It takes pride in its independence. It's told the Big 10 no for 50 years. I can't see it going to the Big 12 in this unstable environment. I think Arkansas is intrigued by the chance of getting back in a league with a lot of Texas schools, but I think at the end of the day, the Razorbacks say, you know what, we love the SEC. It's been good to us financially. It's been 20 years now. Culturally, we've sort of ingrained. I think Arkansas stays. And then I think the Big 12 sets its sights lower, starting with Brigham Young.
Yeah, and I know BYU's got a nice tradition. They've got a nice history. And we're talking about football here especially, because that's really where this whole screw turns. But excuse me if I don't get totally excited about BYU joining the Big 12. You know, there's been talk about BYU. There's been talk about Houston. There's been talk about maybe some schools that are more far-flung, Louisville, some schools that maybe don't fit in that geographic footprint. Obviously, BYU doesn't either. But, nobody that really makes me sit up and think, wow, this is going to be a team that can step in and fill Texas A&M shoes. Now, if you can somehow swing a Notre Dame or you can somehow swing an Arkansas, which I think are pipe dreams, but if you can swing those two schools, that's a whole different argument.
Yeah, I think BYU is a pretty cool addition. I think the Big 12 was derelict last year, not going out and getting Brigham Young as a replacement for Colorado and Nebraska. I think Brigham Young has sort of a mystery factor that people like. The Mormon culture, the passing heritage of Lavelle Edwards, 65,000 seat stadium that's always full up in the mountains. I sort of love the idea of Brigham Young. The problem I have is it's just so dang far. It's 1,000 miles from Kansas City to Provo, so it really stretches the league out. It makes your travel for some of the Olympic sports very difficult. But I think you've got to bring in Brigham Young.
Well, it's a lot more intriguing than, say, Oklahoma SMU. SMU coming out last week and saying, hey, we're interested in the Big 12. Well, yeah, no kidding. So are a lot of other schools. But SMU's got a newer stadium, but it's a small stadium. They're not prepared to be in the Big 12. They've had a nice recent resurgence, but they're where they should be. The Big 12 doesn't even need to be thinking about SMU or a North Texas or anybody else like that. There may be some options out there, but Barry, you lose Texas A&M, it's just going to be hard to replace the Aggies. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.